Hello, esteemed gentlemen. Some people talk. Sigma males listen to the truth hiding behind the noise. There's something unnervingly strange about a Sigma male's mind. He reads people before they finish their sentences. Not with magic, not with psychic powers, but with a rare level of perception that most humans never develop. Psychologists call it hyper-attentive pattern decoding, a trait found in less than 8% of the population. Sigmas don't just observe people. They scan them like a silent lie detector wearing a hoodie. And here's the twist. While everyone else is distracted, trying to look confident, charming, or important, the Sigma male is quietly collecting data points so precise that he can figure out your intentions faster than you can figure out your own hairstyle in the morning, which is saying a lot. This ability isn't flashy, it's not loud, it's not even consciously activated. It's a constant background process, strange, subtle, and almost unsettling. He reads the micro-hesitation you didn't know you made, the emotional residue you thought no one felt, and the truth you tried to bury under jokes, tone, or polite words. Today, you're about to see the 20 strange, rare, brutally honest ways Sigma males read people instantly, the methods that make them unpredictable, untouchable, and occasionally the kind of person you low-key fear in a conversation. Let's begin. Number 1. They notice relational triangulation. Instantly. One of the strangest strengths Sigma males have is their ability to spot relational triangulation the moment it appears. Most people can be in the middle of a conversation and never realize they're being compared, manipulated, or positioned against someone else. But a Sigma catches it immediately because his mind doesn't just listen to the words being said, he pays attention to the motive behind them. Triangulation is when someone tries to control a situation by bringing a third person into the dynamic. It can be subtle, wrapped in harmless comments, or delivered with fake innocence. A friend might say, "Well, you know what Daniel said about you," or "Everyone else thinks I'm right," or "I've never seen James struggle with this." The average person takes the bait. A Sigma doesn't. The moment someone pulls a third party into a private conversation, he senses a shift in energy. He hears the hidden insecurity, the quiet manipulation, or the attempt to spark competition. What makes this ability unusual is that the Sigma doesn't react outwardly. He doesn't confront the person or show irritation. Instead, he stores the moment like evidence. He wants to see if it was a one-time slip or part of a larger pattern, because triangulators rarely do it once. They rely on other people as shields, messengers, or emotional weapons. To a Sigma, that's the first sign of someone who is not trustworthy. He also pays attention to how quickly someone mentions what others think. People who bring up third parties too easily are usually trying to borrow authority they don't have. They try to pressure you by making it seem like a group opinion exists when it really doesn't. Sigmas see through this instantly because they understand that confident people speak for themselves, not through others. This awareness gives Sigma males a quiet advantage. While everyone else is unknowingly being pulled into emotional tug-of-war, the Sigma steps outside the mess. He refuses to play the game, and by doing so, he exposes the person who started it. They think they're weaving a web, but he already saw the first thread. Number 2. They detect power-seeking by eye-scanning patterns. One of the strangest things about Sigma males is how quickly they can identify a person's real intentions just by watching how their eyes move. Most people never pay attention to this because they're too busy listening to words or judging body language. But a Sigma focuses on something far more revealing, the scanning pattern a person's eyes follow when they enter a room or speak to someone. He notices whether a person is checking faces for approval, scanning the environment for dominance cues, or watching reactions instead of listening. Someone who's hungry for validation will constantly flick their eyes to other people's expressions, searching for signs of acceptance. Someone who wants control will scan for weaknesses or opportunities, like who is quiet, who is insecure, or who is influential. A Sigma sees all of this instantly because he's not participating in the social competition. He's observing it from the outside. This ability gives him a huge advantage. While others are distracted by charm, confidence, or loud personalities, the Sigma looks for the subtle signals that reveal who is actually manipulating the room. When someone's eyes dart too quickly, too often, or in a sequence that doesn't match the conversation, he instantly recognizes that the person isn't present. They're calculating. That calculation is a form of hunger for attention, for dominance, or for control. He also pays attention to when someone's eyes linger just a little too long on a specific person. That lingering often exposes envy, rivalry, attraction, or hidden dislike. People can control their expressions, their words, even their tone, but they can't completely control where their eyes naturally pull toward. Sigmas use that as a reliable map of someone's true priorities. The strangest part is that the Sigma never tells anyone he noticed. He doesn't expose it, confront it, or make a scene. He simply reads the pattern, understands the motive, and adjusts his guard accordingly. People think they are hiding their power plays behind charm or conversation, but the Sigma saw the intention before the plan even began. His silence is not cluelessness, it's evidence. Number 3. They decode moral character by the speed. Someone dehumanizes others. One of the strangest and most revealing ways Sigma males read people is by noticing how quickly someone dehumanizes another person. Most people don't see it, or they think it's normal to joke, criticize, or judge others. But a Sigma male pays attention to the speed and ease with which someone reduces another human being to an object, a stereotype, or a punchline. That moment, brief as it may be, tells him more about a person's character than years of casual observation. It's not about whether someone criticizes, it's about how fast it happens and how natural it feels for them. If a person can belittle someone else within seconds of meeting them, the Sigma immediately knows they carry a readiness to discard anyone who isn't useful. It's instinctual cruelty disguised as humor, opinion, or even casual conversation. The faster the judgment comes, the more likely that person will do the same to anyone, including the Sigma, when they're no longer convenient or important. This skill gives the Sigma an uncanny advantage. While everyone else is focused on charm, social skills, or charisma, he's quietly observing how people treat those they perceive as weaker, slower, or unimportant. That tiny glimpse exposes the person's moral compass, or lack of one. People can fake politeness and smiles, they can perform kindness selectively, but they can't hide that reflexive dehumanization. What makes it even more extraordinary is that the Sigma doesn't react immediately. He doesn't call the person out or show judgment. He absorbs it, files it, and adjusts his interactions. That knowledge allows him to predict behavior, avoid manipulation, and maintain control without ever raising suspicion. To the Sigma, watching this unfold is like reading a blueprint of human behavior. The people who dehumanize quickly are predictable. They act from fear, insecurity, or selfishness, and the Sigma sees it before it affects him. It's quiet, subtle, and almost unsettling how much truth can be extracted from a moment that everyone else would dismiss as trivial. He knows who to trust, who to avoid, and who will inevitably reveal their true nature through the speed of their contempt. Number 4. They detect desperation by conversational velocity. One of the strangest ways Sigma males read people is by noticing the speed and rhythm of their conversation. Most people focus on what is being said, the content, the clever lines, or the charm. A Sigma doesn't. He listens to how fast someone talks, how urgent their tone feels, and how relentless they are in filling silence. That subtle urgency is often a window into desperation, and a Sigma can sense it immediately, even if the other person thinks they're being smooth or controlled. Desperation in conversation is rarely conscious. It shows in the way someone pushes to share information before you can respond, or how they speak too quickly to appear competent or likable. It can appear as over-explaining, over-praising, or constantly circling back to themselves or their goals. A Sigma male picks up on this instantly because his mind isn't distracted by social performance. He's measuring emotional intent. What makes this reading so extraordinary is that it doesn't rely on obvious cues like sweating or stuttering. It's in the velocity of speech, the subtle repetition of points, and the hurried transitions. The person is essentially giving away their neediness before words even fully form. A Sigma recognizes the imbalance immediately, understanding that this person is operating from scarcity, fear, or urgency rather than genuine confidence. This gives the Sigma an almost unfair advantage in social situations. While everyone else gets caught up in charm, flattery, or smoothness, he sees through the veneer. He knows who is seeking validation, approval, or advantage, and who operates from control and self-possession. By observing this conversational pulse, the Sigma can predict motives, anticipate requests, and adjust his responses with precision. The quiet power of this ability is subtle but lethal. A person desperate for attention or influence doesn't realize that they've revealed their inner drives through the pace of their speech. To the Sigma male, this is like reading a map of someone's priorities and fears in real time. He never needs to confront it directly. He simply uses that insight to navigate the interaction, protect his energy, and maintain the upper hand. It's a skill so understated that most people never even realize it exists, yet it defines the Sigma's uncanny ability to see people for who they truly are. Number 5. They detect insecurity by how someone adjusts their body. After speaking, Sigma males have an almost uncanny ability to spot insecurity in ways most people completely miss. One of the strangest yet most revealing signals is how someone moves immediately after they speak. Confident people finish a thought and stay steady. Their posture remains composed, their gestures remain natural, and there's no rush to reposition themselves. It's as if their body is perfectly aligned with their words. In contrast, insecure people often betray themselves through tiny adjustments, straightening their shirt, shifting their weight, fidgeting with their hands, or repositioning their posture as if trying to physically correct themselves after what they just said. These movements are subtle, almost imperceptible to the casual observer, but to a Sigma male, they're loud and clear. Each adjustment is an unspoken admission, doubt, self-consciousness, or discomfort. Words can be polished, rehearsed, or even manipulative, but the body rarely lies. That small shift, that micro-movement, exposes a person's true emotional state in a way language never can. What makes this insight extraordinary is that Sigma males don't need the person to say anything revealing. They watch and read, almost like scanning a code hidden in human behavior. They notice whether someone's hands grip a table, whether a foot taps with impatience, or whether the shoulders tense for just a fraction of a second. Each tiny cue builds a profile of insecurity that no conversation could fully betray. This ability gives the Sigma an invisible advantage. While others get distracted by charm, eloquence, or the illusion of confidence, the Sigma knows who is projecting strength and who is merely pretending. He uses this knowledge to gauge reliability, anticipate manipulation, or understand where someone's fears and weaknesses lie. To him, the subtle art of body adjustment after speaking is a goldmine of truth, quiet, invisible to most, and brutally honest. It's a skill that allows Sigma males to read a room and the people in it with terrifying accuracy, often before anyone else has even realized what's happening. Number 6. They read group dynamics. Like an outsider, analyzing an ecosystem. One of the most extraordinary abilities Sigma males possess is their knack for reading group dynamics as if they're studying a complex ecosystem. While most people are busy trying to fit in, impress others, or curry favor, the Sigma stands apart, quietly observing the invisible threads that connect, control, and manipulate the group. He notices patterns of behavior that reveal more than words ever could: who dominates conversations, who hangs back in silence, who subtly influences decisions, and who resents whom beneath polite smiles. The Sigma sees beyond the surface-level interactions. He understands that every group has its unspoken hierarchy, the hidden alliances, and the quiet tensions that dictate outcomes long before anyone vocalizes them. While others are reacting emotionally to minor slights or praise, the Sigma maps loyalties and predicts betrayals with uncanny accuracy. He observes micro-behaviors, glances exchanged between members, brief hesitations or small acts of deference, that collectively expose the real power structure. This isn't passive observation, it's active decoding. The Sigma knows that people rarely reveal their true motives directly, but their interactions betray them constantly. Who defers to whom, who subtly undermines whom, and who is genuinely influential versus merely loud. All of this is instantly apparent to him. And he does it without making a scene, without alerting anyone that he's aware. By reading group dynamics this way, the Sigma gains a hidden advantage. He can navigate social structures effortlessly, align with the right people, avoid manipulative ones, and even anticipate conflicts before they escalate. Where others see chaos or confusion, the Sigma sees clarity, structure, and opportunity. This ability makes him unpredictable and untouchable in social environments. He doesn't need to dominate the group. He simply understands it better than anyone else does. And that quiet understanding allows him to move through social situations with precision, influence, and an almost imperceptible control, always several steps ahead of those around him. Number 7. They listen to what people don't ask. Sigma males have a unique ability to read people not just through what is said, but through what is never said. Most people focus on the questions thrown at them, the small talk, or the surface-level conversation. The Sigma, however, is tuned in to the silent gaps, the things that should be asked but aren't. These omissions often reveal more about a person's character, priorities, and motives than their words ever could. For example, someone who never asks about your well-being, your feelings, or your struggles, but constantly inquires about your accomplishments, success, or possessions, is revealing their true mindset. They aren't genuinely interested in you as a person. They're measuring, comparing, and assessing where you stand in relation to them. The Sigma sees this instantly and recognizes the subtle signs of competitiveness, jealousy, or insecurity hidden behind polite conversation. It's not just about jealousy or envy. Omissions expose deeper motives. Who avoids asking certain questions? Who sidesteps topics that might reveal vulnerabilities or expose truths? A Sigma notices patterns in what is ignored, what is skirted around, and what is conveniently left unsaid. Each omission is a puzzle piece, allowing him to understand a person's true priorities, fears, and intentions without anyone ever realizing they've given him the insight. This awareness gives the Sigma an invisible advantage. While others are caught off guard by surface-level charm or manipulative friendliness, he sees the gaps and interprets their meaning with precision. He doesn't need confessions, dramatic reveals, or overt behavior. He reads the unasked questions and knows exactly what kind of person he's dealing with. To a Sigma male, silence and omission speak louder than words. People reveal their motives in what they choose not to ask, and the Sigma sees through the pretense immediately. It's a subtle, almost surgical skill, and one that allows him to navigate relationships, friendships, and social interactions with an almost unfair clarity. Number 8. They mirror someone subtly to expose their real emotional baseline. One of the most extraordinary and subtle ways Sigma males read people is by quietly mirroring them. This isn't conscious mimicry for charm or manipulation. It's a sharp, almost surgical technique to reveal a person's true emotional baseline. By subtly copying someone's tone, posture, or small gestures for a brief moment, the Sigma can observe how they react, and that reaction tells him far more than words ever could. If the person grows uneasy, shifts, or stiffens, it's a clear sign of insecurity. They're not comfortable in their own skin, and the slightest reflection of themselves is enough to make them tense. On the other hand, if the person reacts aggressively, raising their voice, leaning forward, or becoming defensive, it signals dominance issues. They feel threatened, not because of the Sigma, but because they are constantly defending a fragile hierarchy or image. When someone relaxes, softens, or continues naturally, it reveals authenticity. They're secure, grounded, and comfortable with themselves. In that moment, the Sigma gains a rare insight. The difference between someone who performs for approval, someone who fights for control, and someone who exists authentically without pretense. What makes this method extraordinary is its subtlety. Most people are oblivious to being mirrored even for a second. They assume their reactions are private, yet they inadvertently betray their inner emotional state. A Sigma male doesn't need long conversations or elaborate tests. A simple, almost imperceptible mirroring is enough to expose vulnerabilities, hidden agendas, or genuine authenticity. This skill allows the Sigma to navigate social interactions with remarkable precision. He can adjust his energy to match trustworthy individuals, protect himself from insecure or aggressive people, and identify authentic connections instantly. While others get caught up in appearances and small talk, the Sigma reads beneath the surface. By reflecting just a fraction of someone's behavior back at them, he decodes the truth that most people spend years hiding, even from themselves. Number 9. They analyze the emotional residue left after a conversation. One of the most unusual and powerful ways Sigma males read people is by paying attention to the emotional residue that lingers after a conversation. While most people focus on the words spoken or the immediate interaction, the Sigma gauges a person's true impact by how he feels once the conversation ends. He doesn't measure charm, eloquence, or polite behavior. He measures the subtle emotional after-effects, and they rarely lie. If someone leaves him feeling drained, agitated, or tense, the Sigma instantly recognizes the hidden dynamics at play. People can mask manipulations behind polite words, smiles, or humor, but their energy leaves traces. A seemingly harmless discussion can carry subtle power plays, envy, or insecurity, and the Sigma feels these undercurrents like a quiet echo. That lingering tension or discomfort tells him more about the person than their words ever could. It's not just about negative energy. If someone leaves him feeling light, understood, or unexpectedly energized, he registers that too. He instinctively differentiates between genuine interactions and performative ones. The Sigma uses this as a diagnostic tool. He learns quickly who brings positivity, who imposes hidden agendas, and who thrives on control or subtle manipulation. What makes this ability extraordinary is its subtlety. Most people never notice the emotional residue they leave behind. They assume politeness or charm is enough to define their character. The Sigma, however, filters past the surface. He labels people based on the invisible impression they leave on his mind and body, not their scripted appearances. This allows him to navigate relationships and social environments with unmatched precision. He can identify manipulators, energy vampires, and authentic individuals without confrontation or direct observation. By understanding the after-effects of human interaction, the Sigma reads people with a depth that others rarely achieve. While others chase words and appearances, he silently collects data from the energy people leave behind, turning subtle emotional cues into actionable insight. Number 10. They track someone's internal vocabulary. Sigma males have a rare ability to read people simply by listening to the words they habitually repeat. While most of us focus on what someone is saying on the surface, the Sigma pays attention to how they speak and which words dominate their language. Repetition of certain words isn't random. It's a reflection of a person's inner priorities, fears, and moral compass. For example, someone who constantly uses words like deserve, fair, or owe is often preoccupied with entitlement, justice, or personal gain. Those who say should or must frequently tend to impose expectations on themselves and others, revealing rigidity or control issues. Words like win, prove, and power indicate a mindset driven by competition, dominance, or validation. By tracking this internal vocabulary, the Sigma decodes the person's underlying motives faster than they can consciously realize. This ability is subtle, yet incredibly revealing. People rarely notice the unconscious patterns in their own speech, but the Sigma does. He interprets these repeated words as markers, mapping out how someone thinks, what they value, and how they might act in situations of stress, temptation, or conflict. Someone's repeated vocabulary often betrays their insecurities, desires, and priorities, even if their outward behavior appears polite or composed. What makes this skill extraordinary is how effortlessly the Sigma integrates it into his perception of people. He doesn't need elaborate tests, confessions, or social proofs. Listening carefully to language alone gives him insight into character, ambition, and even ethical tendencies. This lets him assess quickly whether someone is authentic, manipulative, competitive, or grounded. While others are distracted by charm, charisma, or surface-level appearances, the Sigma reads the true blueprint of a person's mind through the subtle patterns of their speech. Tracking internal vocabulary is a silent, almost invisible method of psychological decoding that gives the Sigma an exceptional advantage in understanding human behavior. Number 11. They read the face. When the person thinks nobody is watching. One of the most unsettling and precise ways Sigma males read people is by observing them in moments they believe are private. While most people are focused on maintaining composure, masking insecurity, or performing politeness during a conversation, the Sigma notices the fleeting expressions that escape when someone thinks no one is paying attention. He doesn't force it or stare. He subtly looks away mid-conversation, creating a momentary lapse that allows him to catch the true emotional reaction. That half-second is enough. In that brief instant, the mask drops. A smile that was too rehearsed falters, a gaze of confidence slips, or subtle tension appears in the jaw or eyes. These micro-expressions, invisible to the casual observer, reveal a person's unfiltered feelings: fear, irritation, envy, attraction, or insecurity. The Sigma reads this effortlessly, understanding more about the person in that fraction of a second than others could glean from hours of conversation. What makes this skill extraordinary is its subtlety. The person being observed never realizes they've been exposed. They assume their emotions are hidden, yet the Sigma has already noted the truth. He isn't relying on words, tone, or exaggerated gestures. He's extracting raw, honest information from the briefest glimpse of vulnerability. This ability gives him a powerful edge in social interactions. While others are distracted by charm, humor, or bravado, the Sigma sees the underlying emotional reality. He can tell who is authentic, who is faking, and who is hiding something important, all without confrontation or detection. By reading these private expressions, the Sigma decodes intentions, emotional states and character with uncanny precision. It's a skill so subtle, so instantaneous and so invisible that it seems almost like intuition, but it's far more analytical and deliberate. That single half-second glance can reveal truths that would otherwise remain buried behind masks, performances, and social pretenses. Number 12. They detect disguised envy by forced praise energy. Sigma males have an uncanny ability to sense envy even when it's hidden behind compliments. Most people see praise at face value and assume it's genuine. The Sigma, however, listens to the energy behind the words, the subtle vibrations in tone, timing, and delivery that reveal true emotion. When someone congratulates you but their excitement feels too sharp, too fast, or overly polished, the Sigma recognizes it instantly. That overcompensation isn't generosity. It's concealed jealousy attempting to masquerade as admiration. The key isn't the words themselves, it's how they are delivered. Forced praise often comes with a sudden lift in pitch, a flicker of tension in the voice, or a speed that doesn't match natural enthusiasm. It's as if the person is trying too hard to convince both you and themselves that they are happy for you. The Sigma notices these micro-imbalances immediately, understanding that they signal competition, resentment, or insecurity. This ability allows Sigma males to see through social masks that fool everyone else. While most people might smile politely and accept the compliment, the Sigma can read the hidden emotion without confrontation. He understands who harbors quiet envy, who measures themselves against him, and who might act from jealousy later. This insight gives him a subtle but powerful advantage in relationships, work, and social circles. The beauty of this skill is in its subtlety. There is no need to call someone out or challenge them. The Sigma simply records the energy and adjusts his perception accordingly. He knows that envy disguised as praise is far more dangerous than outright criticism because it can influence actions quietly and unexpectedly. By detecting forced praise energy, Sigma males gain an almost invisible radar for hidden motives. They understand that true compliments feel easy, natural, and unhurried. Anything else is a sign of concealed emotions, and the Sigma reads it instantly, quietly categorizing people based on authenticity, insecurity, and hidden competitiveness. This skill turns ordinary social interactions into a map of underlying intentions that few ever notice. Sigma males are not simply observers of the world. They are silent analysts of human behavior, constantly decoding the hidden layers that most people never notice. Every glance, every word, every subtle shift in posture or tone becomes data. They can sense insecurity, dominance, envy, manipulation, and authenticity without anyone ever realizing they've been read. This is why Sigma males operate on a different level. While the majority are distracted by surface appearances, loud personalities, or shallow charm, the Sigma sees the invisible currents that drive human interactions. Their ability to read people is not just intuition. It is a refined, almost surgical mastery of observation, perception, and energy analysis that allows them to navigate social landscapes with precision and foresight. These 12 strange ways Sigma males read people instantly reveal a brutal truth. Humans are predictable, and the observant, disciplined mind can uncover motives, intentions, and weaknesses with extraordinary clarity. It's not magic, luck, or manipulation. It's the ability to notice what others overlook, to hear what others ignore, and to interpret what most people don't even know they're revealing. In a world built on appearances and pretense, the Sigma male exists in a realm of truth and insight, seeing far deeper than the words and gestures that everyone else relies on. Understanding these subtle, powerful techniques doesn't just make you aware of Sigma males, It gives you the framework to recognize the hidden layers in anyone you encounter. Energy, emotion, words, silence, and micro-expressions all matter more than you think, and observing them with the precision of a sigma can change the way you perceive and interact with people forever. If you found this breakdown revealing, enlightening, or even a little unsettling, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the mind of the Sigma male. Like the video if it opened your eyes, comment your thoughts or experiences below, and share it with anyone who needs to understand the hidden dynamics people are constantly playing. Stay observant, stay discerning, and never underestimate the power of reading what others can't see.